They were muddy in, muddy out, says Merzenich. Improper healing lead to weaknesses in all the languages tasks, so they were weak in vocabulary, comprehension, speech, reading, and writing. Because they spent so much energy decoding words, they tended to use shorter sentences and failed to exercise their memory for longer sentences. Their language processing was more childlike or delayed, and they still needed practice distinguishing da 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 and ba ba ba. When Talal originally discovered their problems, she feared that these kids were broken and there was nothing you could do to fix their basic brain defect. But that was before she and Merzenich combined forces. In 1996, Merzenich, Paula Talal, Bill Jenkins, and one of Talal's colleagues, psychologist Steve Miller, formed the new nucleus of a company, Scientific Learning, that is fully devoted to using neuroplastic research to help people rewire their brains. Their head, their head office is in Rotunda, a, a Bay Arts masterpiece with an elliptical glass dome, 100 feet high, its edges painted in 24 karat gold leaf in the middle of downtown Oakland, California. When you enter another world. The scientific learning staff includes child psychologists, plasticity researchers, experts in human motivation, speech pathologists, engineers, programmers, and animators. From their desk, these researchers, bathed in natural light, can look up into the gorgeous dome. Fast Forward is the name of the training program they develop for language impaired and learning disabled children. The program exercises every basic brain function involved in language from decoding sounds up to comprehension, a kind of cerebral cross training. The program offers 7 brain exercises. One teaches the children to improve their ability to distinguish short sounds from long. A cow flies across the computer screen, making a series of moving sounds. The child has to catch the cow with a computer cursor and hold it by depressing the mouse button. Then suddenly the length of the moving sound changes subtly. At this point, the child must release the cow and let it fly away. A child who releases it just after the sound changes scores points. In another game, children learn to identify easily confused consonant-vowel combinations, such as ba and da, first at slower speeds that they occur in normal language, and then at increasingly faster speeds. Another game teaches the children to hear faster and faster frequency glides, sounds like whoop that sweep up. Another teaches them to remember and match sounds. The fast parts of speech are used throughout the exercise that have been slowed down with the help of computers so the language disabled children can hear them and develop clear maps for them. Then gradually, over the course of the exercises, they are sped up. Whenever a goal is achieved, something funny happens. The character in the animation is the answer, gets indigestion, gets a fun look on its face, or makes some slapstick move that is unexpected enough to keep the child attentive. This reward is a crucial feature of the program because each time the child is rewarded, his brain secretes such neurotransmitters as dopamine and acetylcholine, which helps consolidate the map changes he just made. Dopamine reinforces the reward, and acetylcholine helps the brain tune in and sharpen memories. Children with milder difficulties typically work at fast forward for an fast forward for an hour and 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week for several weeks, and those with more severe difficulties work for 8 to 12 weeks. The first study results, reported in the journal Science in January 1996, were remarkable. Children with language impairments were divided into two groups, one that did fast forward and a control group that did a computer game that was similar but didn't train temporal processing or use modified speech. The two groups were matched for age, IQ, and language processing skills. The children who did fast forward made significant progress on standard speech, language, and auditory processing tests, ended up with a normal or better than normal language scores, and kept their gains when retested 6 weeks after training. They improved far more than children in control group. Further study followed 500 children at 35 sites, hospitals, homes, and clinics. All were given standardized language tests before and after fast forward training. The study showed that most children's ability to understand language normalized after fast forward. In many cases, their comprehension rose above normal. The average child who took the program moved ahead 1.8 years of language development in 6 weeks. Remarkably fast progress. A Stanford group did brain scans of 20 dyslexic children before and after fast forward. The opening scans showed that the children used different parts of their brains for reading than normal children do. After fast forward, new scans showed that their brains had begun to normalize. For instance, they developed increased activity on average in the left temporal parietal cortex, and their scans began to show patterns that were similar to those of children who had no reading problems. Willie Arbor is a 7-year-old from West Virginia. He's got red hair and freckles, belongs to Club Scouts, likes going to the mall, and though barely over feet tall, loves wrestling. He's just gone through fast forward and has been transformed. Will's main problem was hearing the speech of others clearly. His mother explains, I might say the word copy and he would think I said coffee. If there was any background noise, it was especially hard for him to hear. Kindergarten was depressing. You could see his insecurity. He got into nervous habits like chewing on his clothes or his sleeve because everybody else was getting the answer right and he wasn't. The teacher had actually talked about holding him back in first grade. Willie had trouble reading both to him and aloud. Willie, his mother continues, couldn't hear change in pitch properly, so he couldn't tell when a person was making an exclamation or just a general statement, and he didn't grasp inflections in speech, which made it hard for him to read people's emotions. Without high and low pitch, he wasn't hearing that wow when people are excited. It was like everything was the same. Willie was taken to a hearing specialist who diagnosed his hearing problem as caused by an auditory processing disorder that originated in his brain. He had difficulty remembering things words because his auditory system was so easily overloaded. If you gave him more than 3 instructions, such as please put your shoes upstairs, put them in the closet, then come down for dinner, he'd forget them. He'd take his shoes off, go up to the steps, and ask Mom, what did you want me to do? Teachers had to repeat instructions all the time. Though he appeared to be a gifted child, he was good at math. His problems held him back in that area too. His mother protested making Willie repeat first grade and over the summer sent him to fast forward for 8 weeks.